He started it. Huzzah! Oh man, you guys are awesome. Thank you very, very much for the gifted subs. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's one of my favourite things on Twitch. Just really does show generosity of spirit. So thank you. Huzzah! Hello, chaps. Hello, Eve Ultra. Now, where were we? Already, his forces have been asserting control over Nanjing's arsenal, military headquarters, and the major thoroughfares. Huzzah! Broadcasting the news by megaphone and clearing the streets with enfilades of rifle fire. Cities along much of the lower Yangtze have already taken to declaring for Qi, but communications between several provinces have broken down. With Sun's condition deteriorating, he is unlikely to be only an acting League Marshal for long. So Ji Zhujuan has become the League Marshal, reinforcements mobilized in Wuji and Nanjing. Base stability increases, but our crippled industry gets even worse, and now we also have the questionable authority debuff. But we did get some additional troops. So let's see where those are. Let's deselect you. Select all of you onto there. And you lot are still just moving down here to secure this territory. In fact, what actually, you seem to be winning, so I'm just going to leave you there for now. I think I can tell you to run away if I have to, though. Oh, actually, I've just realised. If you stay here, then they can't come in behind me. Whoops. We'll deal with that in a minute. Right, one of you goes there. One of you goes there. One of you goes there. And you stay here. Lingguan secedes. Silence from the south was broken this evening by a declaration from Governor Chen Zhongming, speaking on behalf of both the Guangdong and Guangxi provinces, that they have together seceded from the League with immediate effect. The general denounced the League's disregard for the rights and needs of the people, and singled out the acting League Marshal for special criticism. But he stopped short of outright declaring hostilities. With Anhui province already openly subordinate, this turn of events is disastrous, and in many cases would merit a response. The news was received by way of a telegraph from Hong Kong, which also reported the public humiliation and execution of numerous League officials in Huangzhou. But exact details remain scarce. Free China will start in Luangzhang, players them, or traitors! We're going to yell traitors. Alright, so we have a couple of governors that we need to rescue, Deng and Chen, which are these two. The two that I happen to be using in command. Oh no, Chen's not one of them. That's Deng. That's Zheng. Right, Zheng is not actually captured this time, yet. And then these guys just split away, so Ningguang has taken that. But we do still have all of this territory over here. Don't attack. Unfortunately, they took Xiamen. That's very unfortunate. Okay, now you can back off. Much better. Alright, so you go to Bengbu. You take out all of those, that's fine. We should be getting some good isolation against their forces at this point. Hunan secedes. And we've just lost that bit. Governor Zhao Hengti has announced his province's intention to secede from the League, citing his membership as a personal agreement made with Sun Chunfang, and not the new acting League Marshal. Like Chen Zhongming, he has not declared hostilities and is likely beginning to consider his position within China's rapidly shifting balance of power. Just yell treason! What are you, the Mad King? Burn them all! That actually sounds like a good idea. We should definitely do some burning. A spot of napalm never hurt anyone. Woohoo! Has fallen. Let's see if we can steal Anqing. Because if we can take out their main cities, then this fight will be over. This is the difference they're not being at war with Shandong makes. It's such a big difference. Alright, you've made it to Guangzhou. You head over that way. We do still have a soldier trying to run away. That'll be you. You can back off. Qi's forces control the Nanjing arsenal. In the early hours of the morning, Qi's forces were able to fully capture the arsenal in Nanjing. Following the death of Sun and the coup by Qi, Nanjing's forces were split between Sun loyalists and Qi loyalists. Many of these troops and their commanding officers still believe Qi is not fit to rule, with some even suggesting that Qi had Sun killed, so that he could take on the role of the League Marshal for himself. Since Qi took power, fighting in Nanjing has been widespread, with Sun loyalists mainly being based around the arsenal in Nanjing. The arsenal is a very important military and logistical structure, allowing Sun's forces to control it for days. However, with it finally now in our hands, our control of Nanjing is all but assured. We also gained a bunch of guns, which is great, because it will allow me to start recruiting some new units. Also, we do have a fair number of artillery. So let's go and select you, update, and select these guys, and we're going to give them support artillery. And then the other ones are just random units still. Actually, no, let's give you an icon. What icon? What was I using last time? That, to show that they have artillery. I remember now. Okay, so we have these three which are artillery units. Otherwise, everything else is just like standard units. AOG needs to take over to stabilize the good business. Absolutely. I hate Chelly. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. And Jamich, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Who is this Billy they keep on calling? Billy is the savior of Shen's game. Didn't you know? Billy! Let's stop him running away. Arrival of German weapons. Recently, we received a shipment of infantry equipment from Nanjing, sent straight from our German friends in Singapore. No doubt they understand we must keep the peace across the League for the prosperity of both of us. Alright, so we've gained a couple of guns, so I'm going to train another 3 of these. And hopefully we'll be able to bring them into the play sooner rather than later. You're about to get cut off, so you attack there, you move here. Sun Changfang dies. At about 4:15 yesterday afternoon, Sun Chongfang succumbed to his wounds. Having never woken from the coma, he entered not long after being shot. His last words at the time were reportedly a series of complaints about the state of his breakfast, so they are not to be reported publicly. Though not amongst the very worst of the warlords, Sun will not be remembered fondly by many, despite his insistence that he is an authentic warlord, unlike so many other capricious politicians. A funeral will reportedly take place once order has been restored in the League, and tellingly, Sun's demise barely made the morning headlines, showing front pages with reports of troop movements and a student massacre at the Zhejiang University. Oops, no, you were going the right way. Damn. You're the one I was trying to get to go that way. So hopefully these 5 guys can do enough to keep these fully occupied. And just hold on to this flank. And how are we doing for time? We still have 32 days. Okay. Von Falkenhausen returns to active duty. With the fight against the Secessionists threatening the safety of the German concession cities, the leader of the concession defense forces, Alexander von Falkenhausen, has returned to active duty to help our fight, and has offered his leadership to our troops. The insistence of such a competent general and the implicit support in our fight is a great boon for our war effort. The League Ostasian connection deepens. As the AOG influence grows, so too does our relationship with Ostasia. To wit, a new economic trade agreement has been drafted by the AOG businesses to boost trade between us. And now we're going to bring in Falkenhausen over here, because he's actually a very good general. And one of you two will need to step down. We're going to say you. And then, where is he? Tang Embo can get some frontline experience. If you really want to win, Mordred, just recruit a drunk spearman and a man with a really long, beautiful beard. Lend-lease from Germany East Asia. Yes, I would love to have some free guns. Thank you. Don't care about that. Just take this territory. Although you can go there. You guys all have orders which are still being undertaken. Good. So how is this country looking? Nanjing is definitely looking a little bit worse for wear. We're going to let them move out of Nanjing, and then we'll take their capital. Let's have you go and take all of those provinces. Rioters in Nanjing disperse. After our forces gained control of the Nanjing arsenal, troops loyal to Sun mostly dissipated. However, many of the troops joined the rest of the citizens in Nanjing, who protested against Qi. Many wanted an end to the warlordism that has faced China for years. Many even feel that perhaps the Kuomintang might be a better option than Qi. Thankfully, with the arsenal in our hands, our troops had the weapons to easily disperse the crowds from the protesters. The citizens have gone back to their homes as our troops march through the streets. Nanjing is ours! We still have really, really negative organization, though. We're not doing anything. We just need to use you guys to pin them down. I'd love to have a unit pin this cavalry. Unfortunately, I don't have that option. Yes, I do. Do I? Yes. Good. And he's running away. Okay, this is good. This is good. And this guy is 8 hours away from their capital. Boom. And with it, they're now 8% towards capitulation. Just 8! So close. You're free. You come down here and help with this. In fact, you can come over here. Do that. Because I don't even necessarily need to fight their troops. I just need to keep them pinned so that they can't come in behind us. And then any spare units I have can just be capturing territory. Meanwhile, back here, we just need to hold them up. Definitely is a good idea to try and take out one of these enemies at a time. How are we doing for time? 27 days before that ends. That's fine. Oh, we could also be taking the... Oh, no, we don't have north, south, east, or west, do we? Because we're still working on this. Oh, it seems to be taking so long. Don't forget to rescue the generals this time. Yeah, I know. Okay, you're walking down that way. Do they have any other? Oh, Wuhu. Would need to be captured. Oh no, Jinhua is actually their capital right now, and it's worth 2. That might be enough to win it. I thought that was one of my cities. I don't remember. Or do they have cores on my entire territory, so any city they take becomes one of theirs? That is also possible. Alright, Jinhua has fallen. Yeah, it was one of mine, I thought so. You go and take all of that. So I think it is going to have to be Wuhu that we take out. Although, if Wuhu's... Well, where's the capital now? It's got to be Wuhu. That means all of this is now unsupplied. Meanwhile, over here, they're not gaining any more territory, so we've got them pretty held up down here. Restoration of democracy in Australasia. The Australasian Confederation has been under the authoritarian rule of Governor-General William Birdwood since the British invocation of the Emergency Protocols of 1924. Considered by many in the nation to have been a heavy-handed response to the Melbourne Common Syndicalist uprising. Interesting. Two of them now. Are they trying to cut me off down here? They might be trying. So let's go and pin them. Thankfully, we can get 2 of them with that simple action. You're not doing anything. This is unacceptable. You need to go and pin him. And you come here and attack Wuhu from another angle. As long as we kill this cavalry, then we win. Like, this is the victory condition right here, I think. Modernize the Jinling Academy. Done. So at this point, we need to start working on Qi rules Nanjing, which is the, like, stabilization options. North, south, east, or west. The Nanjing clique has enemies in the north, the south, and the west. Our territory is divided, and Nanjing clique is close to our heart. We must choose which enemies we will focus on first. We will also need to establish contact with the governor. We will also need to re-establish contact with the former governors of the LEP provinces in order to ensure their loyalty. 21 days. How long have we got? 20. Okay. Maneuvers in the Carpathians. The Treaty of Bucharest in 1918 officially ended the Weltkrieg for Romania. But at what cost? Romania is now dominated by German and Austrian industries. Most of her coastline was annexed by Bulgaria, and the Carpathian Mountains separating Romania from Hungary were put under firm Austro-Hungarian rule. So you don't want to take Wuhu for 21 days. That negates the event. Huh? No, because the war won't have ended. Remember, this is also part of the war. Do with you over here now. Death of Pius XI. Pope is dead. Long live the Pope. Nanjing's already lost 6,000 men. 3% away from capitulation. Come on! I mean, one thing I could do is force attack, which would make us attack that and hit that a lot harder than we have been thus far. You know what? Come and attack here. I'm more concerned about these guys breaking free and then taking Nanchang or Huangshan. You guys are winning, you guys are winning. You're also on the verge of losing. And now we've got another person attacking Wuhu. So we should be able to take it. Is combat much different in Kaiserreich from the base game? No. There's just more going on. It's not just giant factions slogging away at giant factions. You have a lot more civil wars and things going on. $4, 93, 94. How are we doing here? 2 weeks, 14 days. I'm hoping that at least one of those governors is from this location, so he doesn't need to be rescued. Speed up the game? Hell no. Way too much going on. A lot of this is about timing. We have you coming in to assist, and there, Wuhu's fallen. And with it, 100% capitulation. So they are about to capitulate. Midnight tonight, gone. There it is. So we are going to take the whole of Anqing. Alright, so that's one of the wars over. Looks like I still need to save these two. Okay. Well, now we have a lot more troops that we can assign to this front. So let's say that you lot are going to be dealing with that part. click on the war thing. Still showing 12 days, so yes, I do still need to rescue those two. The First International Congress. Delegates from the socialist nations and political movements around the world gathered in Paris today for the latest in a series of world congresses. While the mantle of the Third Internationale was taken up by the Communards after the Russian Civil War, the ideological tenor of the event promises to be very different, with syndicalist parties being the newly dominant force of the far left. Delegates were greeted by a military parade, an exhibition of the avant-garde art, and finally a speech made by the CSP. This isn't new DLC, this is new update. Kaiserreich update. Alright, so we've taken Nanping. Nanjing does not look like it's under attack. And now we're simply just going to have a lot more troops. So what we need to do is pin them and then exploit the gaps. So for example, pinning you there would come in very handy. Then I think I'm actually going to extend the orange line to here. 9 days. New technology. We are going to get the emergency doctrine evaluation, which gives us 200% research bonus for land doctrines. And then research land doctrines, which is going to be superior firepower because the Northern School Doctrine is superior firepower and support artillery. And considering we're in China, soft attack is super strong. Because a lot of the armies that we'll be facing will be just troops, just manpower. What are we at the moment? I think we're authoritarian democrat. Paternal autocrat. Paternal autocrat and a chunk of market liberal. Now, it really doesn't matter if we win these fights, we just need to pin them. Hold them in the location so I can exploit gaps like this one. Well, the rest of my forces come in and arrive. You should get there before he arrives. You do. You should be able to hold until he arrives to help you. Okay, good. Ah, I closed it. Still a gap here, and still a gap here. Which you are exploiting. Let's go cut all of that off. Six days. I think I've got to go and do this now. So we're going to be spending 100 political power on saving these guys. 25% of them dying, 75% of them succeeding. So Deng, which is this guy, rescued. And then we've also got Chen, which is this guy, Chen Yi. He's an old guard. And politically connected. I'm never going to use him. He's minus 35 experience gain. But still, it would be nice to save him, especially as this does give us a bunch of stability back. Plus 5 stability, plus 5 base war support, even if we don't succeed. Oh, we got them both! This is clearly the best of all possible worlds. Now Amelia Earhart and the Hindenburg are both going to be successful. Meanwhile, the oranges are still arriving. But the orange units should be of great use for us when we're carving through their territories. We could also do the Seize the Heartland. which gives us another 20% attack for 50 days. Oh no, we can't. We don't have the command power for it. Isn't the Hindenburg something else in this? Something syndicalist? Don't think so. Germany still exists. Although it may not be called the Hindenburg. That's possible. Actually, no. Go there, then attack here. And in fact, we should give you an objective as well, so that you can build up some planning preparation for those units who are not actually doing anything, like these two. In fact, I'm going to get you to attack him, and see if we can just punch through there. Okay, you're now cut off, which is lovely. Pius XII, elected as the new Pope. So yes, the same guy. It's always him. Always! Still can't click on that fight. No idea how close they are to capitulation. Not that it really matters. Now that we can focus on just these guys, it's going to be a lot more straightforward. Following the assassination of Marshal Sun Chunfang, chaos has continued to plague the League. Thousands have already died, and many more deaths will follow. Although there were many factors that led to this, the shooting of the Sun was the nail of the coffin for the League of the Eight Provinces. With enemies on all sides, Qi has decided to start an investigation into his murder. Most do not believe this assassin was working alone, and people want answers. Some have suggested she was a Kuomintang agent. Others believe she was part of the Yingan Dao. Some think she was an agent of Chen. Others argue she was simply wanted revenge. Some even suggest that it was Qi himself who ordered the killing. An investigation must be started to find the answer. With this investigation, there must of course be an investigator. Someone who will lead the case and find the truth. Or at least, whatever Qi needs the truth to be. There are 4 options for lead investigator. We could choose a man who is close and loyal to Sun, who will know him best and know where to look. However, he may not show Qi in the best light, as many loyal to Sun believe Qi was willing to push Sun aside with a little too enthusiastically, and have suspicions of him. Another option is to choose someone loyal to Qi, who will make sure the results will not harm our administration, but some will not trust the results. Another option is to call in a German investigator, which will have far more credibility than one of ours. The final option is to choose someone from the Northern Zhili clique, for they won't have many conflicting loyalties. So the Qi loyalist, people just won't believe. Sun's friend may actually implicate Qi. The German investigator is probably the most neutral, but also positively predisposed towards us. And Northern Zhili has already, announced their, what's the word? Reaction? Restriction? No. They're against us, so we're going to go with the German investigator. North, south, or west? With the way the war is currently going, it is clear we must choose to focus on one of our targets first, so that our troops are not as spread out as they are currently. Gain stability, gain support, and then we can also choose aim south. Oh, we just get it. Attack bonus against the country, plus 25%. Defense bonus against the country, plus 25% for 60 days. Alright, now we can start working on these. And we want to get the ones that have the political power. So the disorder ones aren't actually going to be that useful. Because these are, I think, removed when the war ends.